The Mummy 4 Rises with Fraser in the lead.
2 decades waiting for the film the fans need.
He brings back the fun the reboot had missed.
And skips over the third like it doesn't exist.
All right. Well, you guys may have heard not that long ago, there was a rumor floating around that was pretty much confirmed, but it was a rumor. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, right, getting back together to do another Mummy movie, which was very interesting.
Yes.
But recently, it has been confirmed because Brendan Fraser confirmed it himself.
And that was such great news.
Yes. So let me kind of go through some of the things he said in the article, because he said a lot, actually. So first off, he said that The Mummy 4 is the movie that he wanted to make, but never did. And he even said that The Mummy, the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, was only made because of the people in charge at the time, and then they were on location for whatever, so they made it then. And he doesn't think it belongs with the original 2, but he finds it a good standalone movie. But this is the one that he wanted to make, was this one. But he also had something to say about the reboot.
Oh.
He said, because there was a reboot, guys, I know this is crazy. There was a reboot with Tom Cruise, okay?
Mm-hmm. Which also featured Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, by the way, because it was Universal trying to reboot the Monsterverse, but they did it badly, very badly.
Well, Brendan Fraser actually had something to say about that.
Oh.
So Brendan Fraser actually had some remarks on it. He said, I think that he's seen it. And he said that the reason The Mummy with Tom Cruise failed was because it wasn't at all humorous. That the first 2 Mummy movies with him, had a blend of humor and adventure in it. And Tom Cruise's one was more horror specifically. And because of that, it lost some of what made the originals so beloved, and having that combination of humor and adventure.
That is a good point.
And so he wants to make another one that takes it back to what it used to be.
Good. And I really do hope we end up getting that, because, oh my gosh, the fans deserve it.
But there was more. He actually said today, there was another comment that came out today about how people were concerned because Brendan Fraser, for people who don't know, the reason Brendan Fraser to some degree looks like he does now, right, is because he did a bunch of stunts for The Mummy. And I think during one of the mummies, or both of them, I don't even know which, he actually hurt himself quite badly. And there's other things that went on around the time as well. We're not going to get into that because a lot of it's a whole can of worms. But people were concerned, and people rightfully so. They're like, hey, you're much older now. You're in your 50s. How are you going to do it? How are you going to do the same stuff? You don't look the same as you did back then, whatever. And you have stunts, whatever. And you know what he said? A very self-aware take. He said, that's what stunt doubles are for.
This is true.
Look, I'm not saying that's amazing, but hey, it takes up the fact that he's self-aware enough to go, hey, you know what? I might not be up for those stunts, but that's what stunt doubles are for.
There are a lot of actors who are not able to do their own stunts, which is why stunt doubles exist.
Yeah, but honestly, there are people who are very hyped for this, and there are also people who are very concerned for this, because one of the reasons people are concerned is because obviously people know we've got the terrible, terrible Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which made Indy into a horrible old man who hated everybody and wanted to die, and then got punched in the face by a girl and somehow brought back to the future, and suddenly wasn't going to get divorced from Marion, and his son died, and they just ruined everything.
Yep, pretty much.
But I don't think that Brendan Fraser is going to allow that to happen. I think at this point, given that it's been 20 years since whatever, I think that he wouldn't have signed on just for money. He would have probably signed on for something that he feels is, respecting the original. And so we're going to have to wait and see as more news about this comes out. But I think that we will obviously see him hopefully working on his body a little bit, because I would be ashamed if he just didn't work on it at all. But I'm hopeful for this because, look, here's what I think I want, and I think this is very fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see like 3 more movies in the franchise. I don't want that. I'd rather have one more that closes it off. Give me what the Dial of Destiny never could. A decent send-off. Not saying make him old and lame, whatever. No. Give us one last thing where maybe Imhotep's trying to bring back an army, or I don't know what they're going to do. But
you mean a Naxunamun?
And then literally maybe have it at the end. They heal the mummy and they end the curse or something like that, and it's all over.
Yeah.
Just leave it over.
I mean, Brendan Fraser himself said, "I've been waiting 20 years." I can believe that. If the actor himself is saying, "This is the movie I originally wanted to make. I've been waiting 20 years for this," and he's this excited for this movie, I have hope.
He also said that not only has he been waiting for it, he said it's time to give the fans what they want.
Thank you, Brendan Fraser. The world does not deserve you.
I think that, look, he seems very self-aware. I'm glad he's getting into this stuff. I'm glad that he's aware enough to know that he might not be able to do the same thing. I want one last film. What I don't want, and I'm going to be a little controversial here, okay?
Oh?
Ghostbusters, okay? We got Ghostbusters Afterlife, which some people liked and some people didn't like. I think that it was still a pretty good send-off. Not a continuation, a send-off. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a Ghostbusters movie in the same sense as the first two, but it was a decent send-off for the Ghostbusters franchise, at least in my opinion. Okay? And then they made Frozen Empire. And it's like, no, we don't need that. We don't. I was hyped for it. I won't say I wasn't, but we don't need it. Like, bring him back one more time. Do one more outing with the same characters and everything, and just give us a decent conclusion. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't even make him do crazy stunts. You don't have to. You have the stunt double, as we said. Just give us a decent movie that is a closing off to a trilogy, because the third one doesn't exist. Close it off. Don't do anything weird with the son or whatever. Just close it off and be done and end it from there. And I would love to see Brendan Fraser in more stuff, but I honestly don't think it needs to be milked into a franchise. However, I do think that they could use this last Mummy as a spin-off for the Dark Universe.
Yeah. I mean, Epic Universe and Dark Universe in the parks have been doing pretty well. They portray the monsters very well, I will say. So if they want to revive the Monsterverse, they can revive the Monsterverse. They just have to stick to the classic structure of monster movies.
But hear me out. Let's say the movie ends with, Brendan Fraser, Rick O'Connell and Rachel Weisz. I forget her name. Eve, I think, right?
I think. Been a while since I've seen the movie.
Let's say their kid at the end finds some sort of hidden thing, and it leads him to, I don't know, like a werewolf or something like that. And that's like the end credit scene. And then it becomes like the adventures of Rick O'Connell's son, that's completely separate, not Mummy, like hunting Evelyn. Yes, Evelyn was her name. Evie was her short name. But imagine it's that. Like, I could be okay with that. I don't think we need that. But I'm saying, like, if you want to continue it in any form, do it that way. Don't give us 5 more. We don't need. Just give us one more closing one that does the thing that Dial of Destiny could never do, and then move on. That's what I want.
Wouldn't that be nice?
If you were going to get into your old Mummy hijinks, what do you think you and Miss Rachel Weisz would want to get into?
What I can tell you, and you know that my lips are sealed, but what I can tell you is that it'll give the fans what they want.
Share with your crew, escape life's hell. From spooky memes to advice obscure, here's your dark solace of humor as a cure.